This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, March 6th, 2018, episode 164. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. And of course, as always, check out our website, infectionpodcast.com. Thanks so much for joining me this evening. Joining me as he does each and every week with a new picture on the wall. I believe we've seen this one before. Mr. Brian Aldrich.
This is the same one from last week. Yeah, this is.
Wait, no, the picture of you and your wife was up last week, I thought.
No, this one was up last week. Before that, it was. Yeah.
Oh, well.
I have a picture. I have a new picture next to my.
Oh, don't show it. Yeah, save that for next week.
All right, I've got another picture, but it's on my desk. So, all right. So if you guys want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, or of course you can go check out my blog biteoftech.com. Of course, as I always say, go check out our website. We have a lot of different ways that you can find us on there. On the right-hand side, so infectionpodcast.com, you'll see a nice little green button, which connects you right to our Discord, which is the primary way that we all communicate throughout the week. We have a lot of people right now, got about 60 people hanging out in Discord with us. And so if you just click the green button, it'll connect you to the web-based version. They have a nice Windows app that you can download. They also have mobile apps that you can use if you'd like to use your phone. Also, we have our Steam group if you'd like to get notifications right before the show, which usually right now we're waiting for it to pop up, but you should be able to get a nice notification when we do our game of the week if we're going to do something on Steam, or perhaps get just a notification right before the show. We have all the different things for our podcast form. So if you ever do find that we don't pull up for some reason on there, we're not listed on your favorite podcast app, just send us a quick email, contact@infectionpodcast.com, and we'll get that fixed. But we should be everywhere that podcasts are sold. So
absolutely.
Yes.
So what's going on, Brian?
Sorry for my throat today. I'm losing my voice. Like, I think I'm on the verge of getting sick.
Oh, that's the worst.
For some reason, my throat. Like, I don't feel horrible, but just like when I talk higher in my register, my voice starts to crack, like I'm going through puberty. So,
well, I mean, puberty is a very important part of life, Brian. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, it's finally happening.
Your parents will be so proud.
So, also, yeah, if you, I want to thank people that joined us for our game of the week this past week.
I was there.
I know some people were like, we did League of Legends.
I enjoyed it.
Yes. And so a lot of people were like, oh, I can't believe, what are you doing that game for? But we had a full group of 2 teams. We played against each other. And it's a fun game. I play a lot of, I talk about it, Vainglory every once in a while, which is almost identical to League of Legends as far as the gameplay now. So, but it's a mobile game, but it has pretty much the exact same flexibility with characters and everything else, which is crazy. They've squeezed that into a mobile version.
Yeah,
but I know a lot of people like to play the League of Legends, which I've only played. I think that was my 3rd game.
Wow,
or maybe 4th game that I played with you guys.
Well, in all seriousness, I was actually not there for Game of the Week. I had something that came up last minute, so I was unable to to join for that. But I did ask what the status was, and yeah, that's what I heard. Two teams. You did what, 4v4?
Yep.
Or maybe a 5v5. So yeah, that was from what I read within Discord chat, seemed to be a good time.
Yeah, it was a success.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, and it was fun. I keep hearing horror stories about playing with other people, on the regular servers, but with us, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, you'd get your ass handed to you on a silver platter if you hopped into a multiplayer game. It's like playing StarCraft 2 or anything like that online. You get good, you're like, oh man, I'm creaming this expert boss, and then you go online and a Korean ends the game in 14 seconds, and it's like, wow, that was fun. Let me uninstall this game and never play it again. That's kind of like,
that's how I feel. That's how I feel with all the PS4 games. Like I got Battlefront, which isn't too bad, but and I got Battlefield 1.
Oh, Battlefield 1's a great game. Really
yeah, and the thing is with the computer, you're right up on the screen. I know you always tell me on Call of Duty, like I need to get close
Stand
to
in
the
front of the
screen.
TV. Lance does it. I do it. It works.
And like, yeah, and I've tried it before and it does help. But with these other ones where there's a much bigger map, like Battlefield is a big map.
Tough one.
And so you just can't, like, I can't really see people. Like, people are shooting me before I can even see them. And I feel like I have to stand right up to the monitor just to see. I don't know how these guys see me. Because but I'm sitting, you know how I sit. I sit back away from the on my couch
Brian
on the far
relaxes,
side of the room.
puts his feet up, has a couple cocktails, and is casually playing Call of Duty or Battlefield. And
Yep.
yeah, now I would imagine what they're doing is like when I use in my back in New York, the way I had it set up is I had all of my game systems route through my secondary monitor. I have 4 monitors here through my secondary monitor. So when I wanted to play Xbox, I would just switch the source from HDMI 1 to HDMI 2, and all of my game systems would feed in. And at that point, besides the controller, I'm sitting this exact arm's length away from the monitor,
Which you can see so much more detail.
Oh, it's insane.
That's the thing on my TV. I've looked and like on my computer, like I'd be able to see those little details. Like I had to walk up to the screen and try to look at them. And I don't know how big of a TV monitor you would have to get to kind of replicate it. I think that's why with VR and getting even, it doesn't even have to be like a full VR experience, but just having a screen that is like glasses that you can just put on your head and maybe not do the 3D that gets you all dizzy and everything. But that just seems like it would be such a better way.
Well,
because it's like having a full face full of monitors.
Well, somebody that you and I subscribe to, Brian, Compound Media, Anthony Cumia. If you've ever seen him stream video games on YouTube, he plays on a 21:9 monitor, and if you sit close enough to a 21:9 monitor, if you sit about an arm's length away, I mean it might as well be a VR thing. Obviously, you can't look behind you and stuff like that, but those. If you sit right with a 21:9, a curved 21:9 in front of you,
you can look to your left, to your right. I mean, it's like, you got your full field of view.
Yeah, I mean, it's as close as I think it's as close as you're going to get, obviously, before taking that leap to the next VR thing. But I think that's really cool. And I've got all mixed match monitors, which really pisses me off because none of them line up. But yeah, and I think PH has got a. The people were posting their setups in Discord earlier this week, and I believe he had.
Yeah, we were posting.
He had 3 monitors, and I believe they were like similar to you. They were all bezel to bezel, and I believe he could have expanded it like that. I know you have that, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's a minimal amount of gap between them, but very few games actually take advantage of that. I mean, I remember doing
Elite Dangerous
like that, which was really nice. But if I had like the eye tracking software, they have the thing that you can put something on your headphones and then it'll track, where you're looking. Like just as you turn your head, they have eye tracking ones where you can get a little thing that's kind of like a camera that sits on top of your monitor, or you can get something that just attaches to your headphones. And so when you turn your head to the left and the right, it moves the camera a little bit. Little things like that are really immersive. But I still don't think they can beat, at some point what we're going to go to with the whole just having a headset on of some sort, having it to work. Because imagine what they can do with a screen, that's a couple inches from your eyes, and it will just seem like it's a huge full wall monitor to you.
Absolutely.
And it can be small enough to where it's ultra responsive as well.
Well, and that's the key. And then of course price. But we'll save that discussion for a best of or a bonus show or something like that as we transition into some stuff. Now, as we've been kind of hawking the past couple weeks here, we are now Twitch affiliates. So during not just during the broadcast, but any time of the day, any time of the week, you can go to our Twitch TV channel, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. And you'll see in the upper right-hand corner that you can now subscribe to the channel. Like if you use Twitch, you know what the subscription is like. You can subscribe and give bits. And since last week's program, we actually had 2 subscribers come in right before the show today, and that was our friend No One Rage and our friend Judd, who you may also know as Chris in the community. So thanks to both of them for subscribing to the program, to the podcast. And thanks to the other, I think at this point we're up to about 20 or so subscribers, which is cool. So
yes,
there you go.
Very good. And then as far as game of the week, I had an idea, but I wanted to see what you thought. Did you? So
I'm all
I know
ears.
you're going to be talking about this later. Is the auto,
Yes.
the new auto mode, is that something
Yes.
worth trying?
That was going to be my recommendation.
Okay, I left it blank because I figured maybe you
Yes.
would have an opinion on that. So
I do.
I know I've had a record of now coming up on 4 months of not launching H1Z1, which I've been proud of, but I'm willing to launch it once here to do the new auto Royale if you'd like.
With that, we'll come back. We'll discuss game of the week a little bit later on in the program, but it will be as it typically is. We're playing H1Z1. We'll be playing that 8 o'clock Eastern Friday night as we typically do. So we last week's program, we left it off with there was going to be a big H1Z1 update. It was a soon TM big update. We assumed it would be, I don't even remember what we were talking about. Some tweak to the map or something like that. Don't think we expected what we did, but we actually got a brand new game mode, and they released a trailer for that. So we'll roll the trailer with about a minute or so, and then I actually did, as I was getting berated in Discord earlier, did some show prep so that everybody else would be aware. So I did some show prep and actually tried it out. So we'll roll their little clip here. What they're calling Auto Royale. We'll discuss it, and we'll be right back. So I saw this trailer. It would have been, was it Wednesday? Last Wednesday or last Thursday? It was right after right after the show. And my initial reaction was, what in the hell is going on? And to some respect, my reaction is still, what the hell is going on? So they've got a, let's see if I can find it. They had a blog post on their website that I'm going to try to find. So this is Auto Royale. It's a new game mode, and what you saw is exactly what you get. It's a arcadey battle royale that only takes place inside of a vehicle. What they're calling it is play battle royale on wheels, and this is from their website. Drive into battle as part of a 4-person vehicle of mayhem. Fight for power-ups to equip your squad and upgrade your ride. Outdrive, outshoot, and outlast the competition. Hashtag call shotgun is their thing that they're using, their hashtag that they're using to kind of brand this. And again, the initial reaction is like, what this doesn't make any sense. And I'll just kind of show the trailer and we'll talk over it. I'll have it loop a couple of times. But I mean, pretty much what you're seeing in this trailer is exactly what it is. It's there's two
Driving
vehicles,
and shooting, and
there's two vehicles. There's this like military Humvee, which we've never seen, by the way, as a drivable vehicle in the game. This military Humvee, and then kind of like an undercover Crown Vic, the cop car. Yeah. And you pick one of them, you and your team of 3 others, 4 total, pick one of the vehicles, and you have a driver, 3 passengers, and you literally, unfortunately, I was having an issue recording gameplay earlier, so I couldn't grab it in my gameplay. But you pretty much drive around the map. There's little power-ups that you'll see from time to time that upgrade your weapons or your vehicles. And then there's these containers and
ammo
crates.
as well. Like you drive over.
Yeah, so the ammo and stuff is in
Ammo
these
power-up.
crates that you shoot at, and then the driver drives through. And you actually have to shoot at them. They don't just they don't just go away. You have to shoot these boxes. They explode, and then you can get the power up that's inside of it. So that's it. And my initial reaction again was, "What? This is stupid. This doesn't make any sense." And then this afternoon, after I got home, and I said, we can't talk about this. I mean, this is in retrospect, this is the biggest H1Z1 news we've had in a very long time. I couldn't not jump into this and try it. So, hopped in about, I don't know, 5 o'clock Eastern, played 3 games, and luckily I actually got the same guy was on my first team and my second team, and then the third team I was with a whole new group. And it's a lot of fun. You spawn in a random part of the map, on the ground, in your car, and you just take off. I will give you one thing: nobody's playing it because it took me about 5 minutes to sit in the lobby to get into a game. To get it. So I don't know if that's necessary, and we'll cover current players a little bit later on in the program. And this is, by the way, part of H1Z1. The King of the Kill client, the 1999 H1Z1 client, Royale is part of that. It's not standalone. It's not separate. Because if you go to the website, you click buy now, it looks like it's $20 extra. It's not. It's part of your H1Z1 client. The regular live client, by the way.
Maybe they'll split it off as another third option later.
I mean, they very well could. And Jay Delory is
successful,
saying,
they're like, I will spin this.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay Delory is saying it's faster if you queue up with a full team. That makes sense. It's not that it took me 5 minutes to get into a game. I was just sitting in the waiting area waiting for the lobby to fill up. So once I got into that, loaded in, it's exactly what you expect. The car drives over weapons and upgrades and stuff, and they all funnel into the car's inventory. You press tab to access it, and you pick and choose different weapons. Everybody starts with I don't remember the name of it. It's like the UMP that they have in the game. It's the short little mini burst rifle. I don't remember its name. It's just the name's escaping me. And then you can pick up grenades, the crossbow, the Hellfire. Thank you, Jay Delory. So you start off with the Hellfire, which is a rapid fire, low ammo clip, low range, low damage kind of gun. But that's what you start off with. Pick up ARs, AKs, pistols, grenades, mollies, field mines, first aid kits, bandages. Did I say crossbows already? The crossbow with the fire flames is pretty cool. And then is
that mostly for trying to blow up cars?
Yeah, pretty much. And then it's exactly what the trailer shows. And I don't want to steal anybody's YouTube video of them playing it. But you just drive around and you shoot at other people. The indicators are pretty good. When you come up near another car, you see their health indicator. And the way you die is, first of all, you have a health. Your person, because you do lean out of the window to shoot, so you can get shot, and that lowers your health. You can pass out, and then you slowly over time build up your health or bandage yourself back up. But the way that you die is the car explodes, and you can get repairs and upgrade kits and stuff for the car. But the way you die is the car explodes. So you're just pretty much driving around the map, and you see people, you shoot at them, they shoot at you, you chase them. There's decoys, there's explosions, there's this little spring thing where you can hop and like jump fences and walls and stuff in the vehicle. The oil slicks. There's a whole bunch of really, really cool stuff in here. And I got to tell you, out of the 3 games I played with randoms. I used voice chat, which I've never done before, to talk to my team. The 2 other guys, the third guy didn't talk. The 4th guy didn't talk, rather. And I had a really good time. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Brian. I had a really good time.
So do you think that this is enough to start bringing back some player base?
No.
Do you think that this is going to be enough?
No, I don't think so. This is fun in moderation, I would assume. I haven't played it enough. The thing I do like about it, incredibly quick. There's no setup. And there is a lot of downtime. What was happening is the games that they've obviously got a threshold on how games start. They either start instantly, they start when they hit a certain player count, but it may be 50 players, but it's a 100-player lobby. So it'll start when it's half full. Most of the lobbies I were playing, I believe, were like half full or so. So that it seemed like the middle of the game was a little slow until you got into the later zones. But I would imagine with a full lobby, that would be less of an issue. And I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's totally unique. It kind of reminds me of what DayZ used to, DayZ Arma 2 mod, which there was a lot of this drive-by shooting stuff that went on. It's kind of like that. The vehicles automatically flip back over. There is a gas still that pushes you in. If you get caught in the gas, it damages the car and it will explode.
Is it something where when you start, you're pretty quickly forced to just start heading towards the zone, like the gas is on your tail?
No. It's I don't think so. You spend a lot of early game because what happens? You spawn with like hardly any, and it's not unlimited ammo. You have to drive over these power ups because you do run out of ammo. So right at the beginning of the game, you really don't have a whole lot of anything. So the opening, probably 2 or 3 minutes of the game is just the driver going through these little power ups and these little checkpoints, trying to build the car's inventory worth of gear. And then after that, then you pretty much try to hunt people down. And the gas, from what I remember, it didn't seem like it moved incredibly quick, but it did. It didn't take forever. We actually died in the gas one game because we got stuck in a firefight and we're kind of bobbing and weaving behind buildings and got a little sidetracked. I'll tell you.
What do you think?
It's fun.
What do you think's the long game with this one?
There isn't.
As far as where do you think they're going with it?
There isn't.
This is just the one-off. They were like, this is something we have all the stuff for.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's unique. As Matt is saying, PUBG killed King of the Kill and H1Z1. They absolutely did. It's no surprise. It's not surprising to me. It's not surprising to you. It's not surprising to anybody that works at Daybreak. It just did. It absolutely took it and ate their lunch, and they deserved to. And they deserved to be killed by it because they did a very, very sloppy job because they were complacent, because they were the only ones in the market providing at the time, a battle royale, arcadey, shoot 'em up kind of experience. They were the only one, and they were complacent with it. And then PUBG came to the scene and absolutely whooped their ass. So now they need to do something else.
Do you think they're kind of sad? So if you think about this is pretty sad. They paid money to the person that then destroyed their company. They paid licensing fee to him to get that concept, and they probably gave him enough money to then go and kind of have some freedom to do what he wanted to do, and then that's what cleaned the clock on Daybreak.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if that. Technically, yes, that was the series of events. I mean, I don't think. Here's the thing. This game.
I don't know that he may have had it happen anyways, but I think that gave him the credence to be able to go to this other company, and they were like, okay, well, you made a product that's kind of saving Daybreak, right? It made them successful for a while, and they turned around and were able to repeat it, but in a much bigger way with PUBG.
I agree. That's the case. I fortunately, well, it's not really fortunate. I do believe no matter what, even if PUBG didn't come out, H1Z1 would be in a very similar state.
Would have gone, yeah.
I don't think it would be as low as it is, but I think it would be a very similar state, because there was just a lack of anything going on. I'd highly recommend you jump in there. We definitely need to do it for the game of the week. It's fun. It's super fast paced. There's no setup. You instantly are in a vehicle with a gun and driving around collecting power-ups. I think it's cool for short term, but I don't think there's any long game here.
JD brings up a point about, it'd be crazy if they did more of a Mad Max style. Do you think that this would be something where they could get those crazy outfits, get crazy skins for cars, and really get people into it?
It is kind of Mad Max style.
But I'm saying, but you're driving around in a Crown Vic that looks, like...
Yeah, but there is skins. I mean, you can get vehicle skins and stuff.
That's what I'm saying, is they could really go overboard. Like, they like crazy skins. Like, they could go overboard with this and get really just, you have the ability to make a really unique looking car.
They absolutely
the driver
could.
gets to pick the skin, things like that. I just think that this would be a good opportunity for them to come out with, as you said, like Mad Max style, something that's more of a unique looking style just give it a little bit of, you're not, I mean, the Humvee is new, but it's a very standard look.
Yeah.
Like everything looks very standard. I think they could go a little bit more aggressive and get more of an edgy look to it and have a reason to have all these ridiculous skins. Because like if you look at like these movies where, what's the one where they one day of the year they get to go out and they get to kill people and people dress up on all these outfits.
The Purge.
The Purge, yeah. You look at that, like that makes sense. Like, okay, these people are like doing something where they don't want to be seen. Like you can put some story behind it. They don't want to be seen, and so they're putting on these ridiculous outfits so that you can't see their faces, so that they can do something bad for a day.
I mean, I think
that's kind of what they've done in H1Z1, but there's no like framing that whole story. Like this could be that.
I don't think it will be. I don't think they want it to be. I think that this is a true arcade game mode right here. This is the honest to God, Brian, feels like a tablet game, and that's not a slight. Don't take that as a slight, but it and the reason I say and the reason these tablet games are so damn popular is because they're quick. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to bed in 10 minutes. Let me open up my iPad or my Android tablet and play one game of whatever. Play that, shut the thing off, go to bed. And that's a very appealing thing. That's why we looked at Clash, the company that makes Clash of Clans is making however many billions of dollars a year. It's because Clash of Clans is the best example. That's a little more long game, but it's got the power-ups, the way that you just drive through things, these audible
you can do
blurps.
A little match in like 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do a one of them in a couple minutes.
It's not that quick. I mean, it is still probably 10 or 15 minutes a game. I don't know what it's like to be at the end. You may be looking at 20 minutes, which you could say is longer. But it's just got the feel of a quick tablet style, and it's just these things are spinning. You go through them. It makes a nice little audio cue. You're shooting at boxes. The whole back and forth. I'm sure it's broken in terms of like bullet registration and stuff. But see, this is important, Brian. They can get away with subpar mechanics because there is so much going on at the same. I mean, you were literally just firing out of the back of what are they called? Fishtailing, fishtailed car at another car that is chasing you from a mile away. And you can get away with these non-consistent movements, the non-consistent bullet drop. And I think that, I don't know if that was the plan here, but if that's the case, what are you going to say? Oh, I hit him there. I mean, you're firing aimlessly at an object in the distance.
Something that's moving crazily.
Exactly.
Well,
and that works.
Also, like they don't have to worry about their graphics as much. I mean, you're moving in a fast car. You're not looking at the little details, which is where people kind of get caught up, where I get caught up. I mean, I don't like running on the game because I say it looks fuzzy, but when you're doing something that's so fast paced like this, your eyes are glancing over all those details. And like, this is a way that they can have something, all they have to do is polish the vehicle. Like all the stuff that you see up close, it's the only thing that has to look really good, which they do. They put a lot of detail in those things for everything that they can get out of DirectX 9. And then the rest of it, they don't really have to worry about, is that house. So like if you walk up to it right next to it and look at it, does it look perfect? Like that's it, as just like you wouldn't with the tablet game. Like tablet game, you let a lot go, you're not worried about those little details. In a computer game, those details matter usually. Like you look at PUBG, it's not the best graphics, but like the guns and all those things are detailed, things that you're up close to. So I think their new map is a lot more detailed as well.
Yeah.
I think this is them kind of making the best of a bad situation. I mean, making the best of what they have for now.
I agree with you. What I will say to anybody is it's a little hard to describe. Excuse me. A little hard to describe. Hop in there, install H1Z1. It's the regular H1Z1 client, not the test server, not a beta build, not a test branch. The regular H1Z1 client. Hop in, play a couple of games. Get together with at least one friend if you can. I lucked out. The guy I played with, I don't remember what his name was. He was a pretty cool guy. If somehow you come across this guy. Cool guy, social, talked. We both kind of griped about how cool H1Z1 could have been and reminisced a little bit and played a couple games. blew up a couple cars. It makes it, and this is why I think it's going to be very popular. And I say very popular in its own mind, not in terms of what, but it's not going to be anywhere near PUBG levels, but into popular is because it's got the trolley aspect a little bit. For example, we're driving through one of the is PV the one that's got the elevated train above it, or is that Cranberry? One of them has got that.
PV,
I think it's Pleasant Valley that's got it. So we're just driving through Pleasant Valley. There's not a sight, no noise, and all of a sudden a car comes barrel rolling off the top of this E-train, the elevated train line, and just lands right in front of us. And it's just like they're trying to squeal away and using power-ups, and we're like, get him, we'll fly after him, and we eventually got him. And it was just that, like, the crazy stuff that's fun with a group, because it's a group play, 4 players. You can't play solo. There's no duos, 4. You have to play with at least 4 people, 1 driver, 3 shooters. Stuff like that makes it. I mean, I had a smile on my face playing it, and I was playing with people I didn't know who the hell these people were. We had a good time. And again, it was 3 games. I'm sure a couple more games, and I said, okay, this is the same thing over and over again. And it is, but it's fun. Clearly, I mean, I don't know how complicated this could have been to do. It seems like they already had a lot of the mechanics in there: the driving mechanic, the shooting mechanic, the leaning out of the window mechanic. All the main stuff was in there. The power-ups weren't, but how hard is it to have an object spin and you drive through and it gives it to you? Most of the core things, I believe, were already done. So I don't think this was pretty
much just locking you into your vehicle is the main.
Well, not even that, but there's power. There's these ramps.
The drops and, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play the trailer one more time while we're just kind of sitting here talking about it. It's just this. There's these landmines. You can see these some of the boxes and stuff, but there's ramps, and your car catches on fire, and you have to extinguish it with a fire extinguisher. There's just a lot of cool stuff in here that I think is fun in moderation with a group of friends. I think this is a lot of fun in moderation. Will it bring?
How long do you think they've been working on this?
I mean, honest to God, maybe since Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Because I saw them doing tests and showing, for some reason they were jumping off of ramps.
Yes.
I kept seeing these little ramps, and they weren't at the point where they are in this trailer. But I was like, well, why are they messing around in their office, jumping off of these ramps on tops of buildings and things like that? And that was all testing, I think, for this. Just making sure that they had the right distances and leaps and everything.
I want to cut you off for a minute. No, not really cut you off, but this cut scene right here. Typically, H1Z1 trailers are vastly inaccurate of what actually is going on. This cut scene, with this mayhem going on that you're about to see here, like with these cars flipping over at 1,000,000 miles an hour and people just going all over the place. You'll see the car come barrel rolling towards the screen. That actually happens. Like, this is actually that red car flying. That's literally what happened to us. We're driving down the street and this car comes flying off the elevated train line. And it's like, whoa, like all of a sudden we go from no action to boom, right in front of us. And and this is the other key thing too. And we're going to spend a good chunk of the program on this. Obviously, this is big news. The encounters are quick. Unlike King of the Kill, where it's this, we found a group of 4. Okay. Brian, go that way. I'll go this way. Slide around behind us. We lost them. Oh, we lost them. Oh, I think they're in here. Let's push in. There's all this nonsense. You see the car's in front of you. You shoot the car. Sometimes they get away. Fine. But they're quick encounters. There's no stalking. Yeah. It's not that. That's why it's so quick, and that's why I like it. Because there's no stalking. You see a car, you drive towards it. There's no, in regular King of the Kill, when you see another car, sometimes you peel away because you're not interested in a firefight. That's not this game mode. You drive full speed at the other car and try to knock them out. That's what you do.
So JC said that one of the developers said it was 3 months of constant work.
Well, Thanksgiving.
So pretty much.
A little before.
Well, that'd be January. Well, it depends on when they finished it, like when they considered it done.
Well, I'm saying 3 months of work. First, nothing happened between Thanksgiving and Christmas, but they started around that time. You made a couple weeks worth of work.
They weren't working. 3 months.
since
Because
Thanksgiving.
December's a wash. So
yeah, I mean,
it's been
just,
pretty much
I mean,
Thanksgiving.
2 weeks of December are a wash plus Thanksgiving, and then a couple days, New Year's.
Yep.
You got the Super Bowl, couple in February, and not that that's a thing, but you a couple days off here and there. Thanksgiving, Christmas. I mean, you could easily have something like that. So, it's called Auto Royale. It's in beta. It's on the regular H1Z1 live client, which, by the way, no longer has a launcher, which is fantastic. You load up the game.
Yep.
Pop right inside the client, which is cool. I'd check it out. I had a really good time playing it. If I didn't have to be up at 5:30 tomorrow morning after the show, I'd probably go play some more.
Some more tonight.
But I won't be because that would not be a smart decision. But yeah, that's it.
So, and make sure everybody gets it downloaded. I mean, people may not have it downloaded. So we'll be doing that this Friday. And so just make sure you have it all downloaded, updated, make sure it launches. And then we'll start at
8 p.m. Eastern.
What time is it Eastern? 8 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yep. So 8 p.m. Eastern, we will start and we'll just play however many games. Hopefully everything's smooth. We can get right into I'm sure it'll be Friday night. They should be able to fill a lobby. So we should be good on that.
Yeah, we'll make it work. So hopefully look forward to joining, look forward to having you join us on that. I think JD mentioned potentially streaming it if I'm around, which I'm planning on being, but who knows what's going on. I will do my best to try to stream it. So, and it's a good stream game too, because it's so quick. There's not a lot of there is some downtime inside the games. But yeah. I mean, that's to be expected in any game like that. So, yeah, that is big news from the H1Z1 team. And I like how they kept it completely quiet for the most part. I mean, obviously you said you saw the ramp thing, but you had no indication of what was going on.
But yeah, it was just, they made sure they didn't put any crazy graphics. Like it was just a little wood ramp, just like a curved plywood coming off of the building. Like they kept it very low key for anything that might have been shown on a stream and things like that. It didn't have these crazy looking ramps with the lights on it and all this. They didn't show any of that stuff. So they did a pretty good job of keeping this under wraps.
Yeah. And it's kind of the best way to do it.
Now, here's something that happened. I wasn't expecting this, and I don't know if you saw this, but Chris Wynn sent out a tweet. I think it was earlier today.
It was, yeah.
Maybe.
I posted it in Discord earlier today.
Yeah, so he posted, and I'll just read it. It says, "So long, Daybreak Games and H1Z1. The last few years of my career have been the most rewarding yet. To be part of the H1 community and help build the battle royale genre." That's what that sounded wrong. Genre. Was truly rewarding. There are a lot of things to be excited about this coming year if you are an H1 fan. So Chris Wynn, who when he took over right before King of the Kill pretty much became big, right? I mean, like around that time is when he joined.
Yeah, and he was as they always said, the CEO of King of the Kill. He was the head honcho in that department. Yeah. His title on his Twitter says executive producer of H1Z1, which would have same thing.
Yes.
Main guy, head honcho for King of the Kill, and he's moving to League.
Is it League of Legends?
Yeah, Riot Games. He's moving to League. Now, I mean, of course, I read the Reddit post. Saw it on Twitter. Saw the response on Twitter. Greg Henniger responded. Clegg responded. Good luck. Yada yada. Go over to Reddit, and it's just like, oh, thank God. Like our typical Reddit nonsense. But in all reality, and I will make the argument, but I'm going to say up front, and I think PH or somebody was talking about it in Discord, and he's spot on with it. If Riot, the League of Legends people, call you and say, we want to hire you to work on literally like the biggest game out there, League of Legends, if not like
from
number
Daybreak
one
in the state that it is right now.
Yeah, if not like the first, like maybe the second or third biggest game, probably the first or second. That is not an opportunity that I think you pass up. Now, you could also make the argument, and I will make the argument because I'm not stupid, and Chris Wynn's not stupid, and I don't think everybody else at Daybreak is that stupid. H1Z1 is not in a good spot. It's not a surprise to anybody. You can just look at the numbers, the graphs, the charts, whatever. You can see that the game is not in a great state. Now, I'm not saying it's going to fold tomorrow. Some people might want it to, but I don't think it's going to. But I'm sure that had something to do with the decision. And now the question becomes, and the fear for me, and I don't think this is unjustified fear, Brian, is are we going to see another drastic change in what the direction of King of the Kill is?
Another person. Well, okay, but look at this. He says, help build the battle royale genre. But I'm wondering if they're feeling that this, like, are they going to feel that this vehicle thing, are they going to take a new direction and be like, oh, now we're going to be the top vehicle combat game?
They should.
I mean, I'm just wondering where they're going to go.
I mean, here's the thing.
From here.
I mean, this is my point, and I think this is very clear, and anybody at Daybreak would agree with me. They are not, under any circumstances, going to beat PUBG. It's not going to happen. They've got, the cards are stacked 20 to 1 against it. It's 20,000 to 1 against them. They don't have a chance in hell. And there's a whole bunch of reasons. I think, first of all, I think there's a talent issue with the misguided direction. It's clearly a technical thing. This engine they use is a pile of dumpster fire. There's a whole bunch of things. And I'm not saying that to be mean or critical or rude about it, but it's just the reality. They are not going to beat PUBG. You're trying to be the PUBG. You're not going to beat PUBG. It's the same way Android can try. It's the same way Android and Google can try to be, we're going to be Apple. You're not going to be Apple. They've got this great ecosystem where everything ebbs and flows together. There's no bugs for the most part. There's no issues. Things always work. You're not going to beat them. So try to be something else. And Android's done a hell of a job doing that. If you're a nerd, if you're a tweaker, whatever, you get an Android phone. You don't get an iPhone because it's not quite so open. It's very limited on what you can do. So Google's placed themselves in the market as something different. H1Z1 is literally running, for a point in time, was literally running step for step behind PUBG. And it was like, what the hell are you doing? You're not going to beat them. So try to do something else. And this is something else, and I think it's fun. And I don't think anything's going to come of it because it's very short-lived and it's got no longevity to it.
I mean, I feel like they're trying to kind of keep something alive, keep it alive enough until they get this next title announced. So then they can get some hype and be known as a company that's still doing things. I mean, things they got to hire. I kind of wondered after seeing so many people leave, if perhaps word has been sent around that, people are going to be let go and, now's the opportunity to do it before you have been officially fired. I mean, I'm not saying they went to any one person and said that, but I wonder if that's the reason that so many people are just finding other places, because it's a lot of people that are public faces have been leaving.
Well, I think there may be some truth to that. Obviously, those people, a lot of the people that went to the Twitch studios didn't just leave because of Daybreak. I think a lot of them knew Smedley very well and wanted to follow. I mean, you could say that. By the way, for anybody that is new to the program or maybe needs a refresher, the H1Z1 concept, that was John Smedley's baby. That was his idea, his concept. And you could make the argument that visionary is not the right word, but you could make the argument that he's the visionary. He's a visionary. He's got a lot of good ideas and concept behind games. Obviously, that Pixel game he tried was a disaster, but you could argue that those people jumped ship not because of Daybreak, but because of, first of all, here's Amazon, who's got more money than God, and here's a kind of a clean slate to do whatever you want with a guy that you think has got good ideas.
But you have a lot of their marketing people leaving for these different tournaments, and
I mean, you've got that girl that left a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
and then Ryan left last week. I mean, it's just you got one after another of people that are the public faces. That's the thing. You don't know how many are happening of people that you don't see every day on Twitter. You're seeing a bunch of their public faces. I mean, people that are the public faces besides Arklegger and Greg Henniger. Like these are everyone else that's a public face is leaving. There's not very many left. And so I'm just wondering how many numbers, because the thing is they've got to lighten up. If they're not going to be bringing in any money, they got to lighten up as far as staff. And I'm just wondering if this is something that internally they said, you know what, most likely some people are going to be letting go. So, if you have an opportunity somewhere else, take it.
And I'm not saying that the writing's on the wall that H1Z1 is going. Here's the thing. Even if H1Z1 ceases to be a project, quick reminder, Daybreak's got like 12 other games that they've got managed to maintain. A lot of them run on the same engine. So it's not like H1Z1 shutting down would be Daybreak shutting down. Now I'm sure it would be they'd have to let some people go. Obviously,
Yeah. You can't keep a full staff on for a game that's not bringing in any money.
Well, I'm saying you can't keep full staff on a game for a game that no longer exists. You can't keep all of the H1Z1 developers in there, and then H1Z1 leaves. So
do you think they're spinning the game down? Do you think this is the long spin down?
No, I don't think so, because they wouldn't be doing this if they were going to spin it down. I think they could do a couple of these little weird mini games, and I think they could have some success with them.
Yeah,
I really do.
Keep enough people. And I think that this is something that they'd actually be able to combat hacking with a little bit, because they can do more checks. They have more control of wherever people are. Like, they could actually do some things and check people a little bit better, because you know that someone's going to be in a vehicle, and as long as they're following the rules of being in a vehicle and moving that fast and moving in that direction, I just want, and also people are together.
Well,
so, it's less people spread across the whole map, most likely. I'm wondering if this just performance-wise is something that they're finding the.
Here's a thought too. Well. Is there a chance that because this is going to be in a car and because it's so hectic and chaotic, if there's people cheating, you may not even be able to tell? I mean,
that's probably what it is.
Again,
too.
And I'm not trying to be that guy, but bullet drop and weapon inaccuracies, they're freaking irrelevant. If you don't believe me, jump into a game and just see. You literally just shoot. I mean, anybody that's ever played any game where you're shooting out of a moving vehicle, it's a total cluster. You just aim and hold down the trigger. That's all you do. And honest to God, I mean, enough of this stuff lines up. You could have a I don't want to say subpar, because I don't think it's borderline subpar, but you could have an all right, system, engine, all this other stuff, and put it in kind of this crazy. For example, why do every time that there's a big action scene in a movie, why do they show explosions? Because it's easy to do. Very easy to do explosions. Exactly. It masks any real action going on. Have somebody roll in front of an 18-wheeler explode. There's no real action going on, but that's the way you do it. Because you can and it's not that the directors are incapable. It's just a way to do something. So you can say, "Oh, let's mask this whole, any fighting scene in a movie or a lot of movies. It's very dark. It's very quick with a fast camera cuts because there's nothing There's nothing happening. It's a bunch of people just punching the air or kicking the air. There's nothing happening. So you quick cut. It's dark, dimly lit. You noise of people going, you're getting kicked in the face and stuff. I mean, that's it. It's great. And you love it. And you go, oh, that was fantastic. Wow, that guy got knocked the hell right out. It was fantastic. It's just a way to, you game the system. And they've got a system that is in subpar. This is how you game it. At fast-paced motion, at explosions, and at just the craziest stuff you've ever seen. Vehicles flipping over and blowing up. It's great. This is the perfect game for it. PUBG would not be able to do this because this shit is too precise. And you don't want precise. You want your bullets to be going all over the place. Everything has scopes and everything.
You don't. They'd have to really dumb down the weapons in PUBG.
No.
Imagine trying to look down these scopes and then aim at a car. It would be a mess.
I
think that this fits. Yeah, as you said, fits into that whole inaccurate. Everything's kind of blurring. Like you're shooting at a general area. This fits into that. That's been my frustration with after playing PUBG. It was hard to go back to H1Z1 because you just felt like the guns weren't accurate. Like you're aiming at a kind of a little section with a little dot on your screen.
And by the way,
you're aiming at a car and it's easier that way.
Our friend Firebomb made a fantastic point. He says, Auto Royale is fun, but and he's saying this is negative, but there is no skill to it. Bingo. That's it. There is zero skill. Zero skill, which is fun. PUBG is great. Fortnite is great, but you watch these stupid people, and not the people, but you watch people playing Fortnite, which I hate. And what are they doing? They're in the sky. They're building towers around themselves with ramps and gliders and all this nonsense. This game, literally, I mean, if you're capable of aiming your mouse and pressing, you don't even have to press W. You literally aim your mouse and hold down left click. You will shoot something.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm excited to try it. I think it'll be fun, as you said, in moderation. Like
absolutely.
I'm not going to really log in, and I've got plenty of other games to play that but it'll be fun to play with the group.
Now let me tell, it's going to be fun to play with the group. I also think it's a fun game to play 1 or 2 quick before bed, or 1 or 2 in the morning before work. I don't, based on your schedule, whatever you do. And thank you, Firebomb, for the bits there saying Friday the 13th is better than H1Z1. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I mean, you can make the argument. I think it's one of these games where you could come home from work and, while, you throw dinner in the oven or whatever for 25 minutes, couple auto royale games, before bed, again, before work, whatever, lunch break. I mean, I don't know what people do, but it's that quick. And again, no skill. I didn't even, that's what I wanted to say, but I couldn't articulate it. And that's the key. That is the key. Yeah. No skill. And I'm not great at these games. I'm terrible with aiming in these games, but there's really no skill.
That's what H1Z1 turned into, to where you just had all these people doing 2 taps. I mean, which is kind of like what Call of Duty is. Right?
Yeah. But it's all 2 tap.
People, and that's, I mean, you've seen me play Call of Duty. Like it's taken me time to get to where I can actually compete with these people, a lot of time, because I'm not used to that. And, you've got people that sit here and play H1Z1, or were playing H1Z1 all day long. And they got to the point where they just could 2-tap you from ridiculous distances, whether it was legitimate or not. There's probably people that you thought were cheating, but they're just much better at aiming than you are.
Yeah. Like me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I think that the game kind of turned into that, to where your casual H1Z1 players just got frustrated, because it's like, you can't go in there and win because you just got people doing crazy shots on you that, what are you going to do? And it's not like they group people together based on skill level. I think this is something that's more, you can possibly not be good, but you can actually get lucky in this. Where it in the regular games, you can't really get lucky in H1Z1 regular game.
No, it took me a minute to process. No, you're right. I feel like it's a slight to say there's no skill, because, but in reality, there really isn't. I mean, no skill, a pure luck. I mean, like you get lucky with a couple shots.
Yep. I mean, there will be people who will get better at it and be able to shoot people a little bit better, but still, like, you have a chance if your driver's squirrely enough. Like, there's things that you can do to be able to avoid that.
Absolutely.
Now, they had a producer's letter, and this is the one that they sent out for this big patch after our show last week.
Yeah.
So they're talking a little bit about the Pro League.
This came out Wednesday, so right after last week's show. This was the big update. Right, this is the big thing that we were talking about last week.
Yeah, so H1Z1, they were talking about H1Z1 is the fast-paced, competitive battle royale game in today because of you, our players, and with 3 invitationals, 3 showdowns, 2 Elite Series stops, 1 nationally broadcasted tournament, and a Pro League, which is the newest thing. You all have also helped to establish a new esports genre. So they launched out of early access. This is something we kind of heard rumors of. So they were finally what they consider out of early access on H1Z1. And, this is something to where I think they were wanting to do this before the Pro League, so people weren't saying, why are you having a Pro League with a alpha game?
That's alpha, bro.
So now they were out of it. Yeah, now they're officially out. And then they launched this new game mode, which we've been talking about, the Auto Royale. And this is, as Nick said, it's 29 other teams that they're doing with this. On here, of course, that means they're finally out of preseasons, which we've given them a lot of flack for.
About 16 of them total? Something like that?
So we are now officially to season 1. So preseasons are done. This is season 1. They kind of reworked a little bit of the UI for that and the reporting system. They changed the starting locations in preparation for this. So this is definitely the one thing they did add here is they have rewards that you can get during the matches. Or for winning matches. So you get these victory crates, which we kind of mentioned a little bit as far as we heard this was coming, but officially this is now all out here. So when you win a match of solos, duos, 5s, or auto royale, you will be rewarded with 1 victory crate. After you reach level 10, each subsequent level will reward you 2 victory crates. Victory crates can be purchased from the Skull store for 7,500 skulls each, and then completing the tutorial challenges rewards you 2 victory crates. So these victory crates come unlocked so you don't have to go and buy a separate key for those. In there, you'll have a chance at getting like an ATV skin, the purple one, a camo green pickup truck skin, the Tiger Blood AK-47, and the Toxic Scarecrow ultra rare mask. And then on here, yeah, they just talk about if you win first in a game, you get the victory crate in any of those games. If you get second, you get 150 skulls for solos, 150 skull for duos, 100 skulls for fives, and then 100 skulls for an auto royale. For third through 10th place, you get 75 skulls for solos, 50 skulls for duos, 50 for fives, and 50 for auto royale. And then 11th through 25th, you'll get 50 skulls for the solos and 25 skulls for the duos, and you don't get anything for the fives or auto royale. And then 26th through 50th, if you in solos, so pretty much if you finish what in the top half, or is that a quarter? I don't remember how they actually got like 129. You get 25 skulls for a solo. So you can grind those skulls and then be able to unlock some of these crates. So they have, and they said they have 75 never before seen skins that are going to be inside of these crates. So there is something to actually grind for, and I think this is a lot better method. I mean, this is the reason to keep some people playing, just because they know that eventually they're going to unlock crates and not have to pitch out money if they just keep playing games. And I think this is something that's going to help kind of bring them back a little bit. They said that they've been doing a lot of optimizations on the overall engine, and probably this helps because, I mean, we got a fast-paced auto royale game. You need to make sure that as you're going to all this new stuff, you're going at a much faster pace. Everybody's going at a fast pace, so you have to really work on FPS with that. So they said they're trying to get that. One thing they said they've done is they've adjusted how trees appear in the world, which has helped with the FPS. They also set an alternate time of day, providing better colorization and visibility of other players. And then an effort for higher FPS will continue with each update. So they're going to keep working on that. And then they had a new shirt they put in there, which is remember we had the I survived, what was the first one? Patch 1. I don't remember what it was called. They have a shirt now in there that has H1Z1 crossed out, King of the Kill crossed out, and now it's back to the new H1Z1 logo. So that's a shirt that you can get, and they sell a real one as well. I think you can probably go buy it, but it's the H1Z1 Evolution shirt. So I think that let's see, yeah, and then the Pro League. So this is something that we'll have to see. I've seen a lot of tweets from professional players saying, you know what, I mean, because a lot of those guys will play professionally, but also stream to kind of bring in some extra income.
Uh-huh.
And they're saying, you know what, I'm no longer streaming. I'll keep playing it professionally for the league, but I'm not going to be streaming it on Twitch because it's not enough people.
Well, it's just, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. I mean, I'm not telling anybody that they don't already know. It's just not fun to watch. And I don't think, I mean, honest to God, I don't think even these pro people enjoy playing it for, here's the thing with live streaming. This is something this is the thing I used to, this is the thing that I learned from live streaming. It never used to be like this, but the changes come. People that live stream successfully do it full time. It never used to be like that. Back in the early days of Justin TV and the very, very early days of Twitch, when I was streaming, the popular streamers, like even at the time, like Dan's Gaming and Man vs. Game, they'd stream for 3-4 hours a night. And that was a lot, maybe 5. I mean, that was a long time. They'd start late at night after work and they'd play for a couple hours until the early days of the, early hours of the morning, and they would do that, and that would be their thing. But now with, you've got to compete with, the Doc and Summit and all these other people that are playing for 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 hours a day. You couldn't play H1Z1.
The standard now is like people are thinking, because the funny thing with streaming is there's a recipe.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
There's certain things. Right now, the recipe is you don't play H1Z1, you play PUBG, or you play Fortnite. It's moving to Fortnite. Like there's a recipe. That's why everybody follows. But also there's certain way, people, the new recipe is you stream for 8 hours, make sure you stream so many days per week. You say certain things when people subscribe. If you go across a lot of different streams, you will learn there are certain things that people say because it's like the recipe for what people like to hear. Yeah.
The little bingo boom shakalaka when somebody subscribes. I mean, it's all part of the formula of the.
There's a formula for becoming a bigger streamer.
That's what we're trying to do here. I mean, Stream a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't tell. But I think with this, when everybody's jumping ship, I mean, we'll have to see. If people don't want to watch it on Twitch, are they going to want to watch these pro leagues? So people want to watch like League of Legends. People want to watch that online. People want to watch CS:GO. And so it makes sense that people are also watching the pro leagues, but they watched it casually on Twitch as well. If they can't get people to watch it on Twitch, do you think they're going to be able to bring enough numbers to really make sense to keep doing a professional league like this?
No, I think the professional league is a short-lived thing. There's not a player base. I mean, again, we'll get into it a little bit later on in the program. Well, about less than an hour from now, but there's just no player base. And it's exactly why nobody's streaming it, because you look at the the current player numbers, especially the graph I showed. I think it was last week or the week before, the current player graph versus the viewer graph, and there's like 18,000 people playing and like 40,000 people watching. Those are totally backwards.
No,
I mean, it shouldn't. Now, yes, you probably should have some more streamers than that. Makes sense when you've got these big personalities streaming, but I mean, it's always like that. Nobody's playing the game, and if nobody's playing the game, it means nobody's streaming the game. If nobody's streaming the game, it means nobody cares about the game, because at the end of the day, YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff, those drive what's popular and what's not. You've got an issue. So it makes you wonder. It really does.
I wonder if the talks for this started before, like at the time when PUBG took off. Like, I'm wondering if this has been something that's been in talks for a year and it's finally come to fruition. And I'm wondering if these guys are kind of now like, oh, well, we already, like, the paperwork's done. Let's at least see what happens. But they got to be putting money into this, or I expect they are going to be putting money into this. So I don't know that they can save it, and I don't know why they're committed, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And so I think they're just going to be like, well, let's at least give it one shot and see what happens.
And Brian, if I could, I just sent you a new link. If you could reconnect on a different thing, your audio is it's not cut. It's just choppy and like a network way. So we'll reestablish our connection with Brian here. But just kind of, and there is some, we'll talk about the Pro League, but just to kind of, wrap up again, I don't think anybody's shocked, surprised, amazed, or anything with what's going on with H1Z1 right now. I mean, I think the writing's been on the wall for a very long time that, there's been a lack of, I don't want to say motivation, because I don't know if that's true, but there's just been a lack of, I think it's obviously a lack of direction. Now Chris Wynn is gone. Who the hell knows where that's going to go? You'll have
another executive director step in and be like, I'm going to make everything different to save this company.
You almost run into the Yahoo thing with Marissa Mayer, unfortunately, where she kind of came into a fire, and to try to save it, she made a whole bunch of decisions that, obviously, if you play Monday morning quarterback, they were a disaster. But you look at it in retrospect, and it was like, well, what do you do with this? You've got you're literally watching the Titanic sink. What are you gonna try to do? Nothing you do is gonna make a difference. And I don't think H1Z1 is necessarily at that point, but I don't think they're far off.
But the thing is, I think that they need to bring someone in that just is like, well, let's like keep the head above water as long as we can until we get this next title announced. If we could just keep it above water until that point, and like they just need to bring someone in that's willing to try that.
Well, and I'll tell you, this thing may be this might be their time. This may be their this may be their time. This may be their time buyer. They may have a couple months here, to buy with that, which would be really cool.
So one thing, are we good with H1Z1? I think we covered everything. That we were wanting to
did we cover the Pro League thing here? This little graphic. So this is going to be the 50, and we talked about this, but they've actually announced this now. So it's the 15 of the world's best battle royale teams, and this is kind of this is their image for their H1Z1 Pro League, which is pretty cool.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll just have to watch and see if it's something that is engaging. Because that's the thing, is watching it on Twitch is very different, because like the
Yes.
doc manages to keep a pace. He managed in this game. He manages to keep a pace, and then he keeps people interested with just being silly the rest of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have, with H1Z1, it has to be a fast paced game to be interesting. And if they can get it to where these guys are able to get into action quick enough. But the thing is, when they did tournaments in the past, there's a lot of people running around and their camera work wasn't that good as far as switching between them. They're going to have to get that polish if this is going to be a polished production. The one that they did on TV was all pre-recorded. So they pretty much were able to pre-record and really filter it. But when they do live things, it's really hard for them to be able to do a sports cast of it, like as far as calling it, and then also switching to the right places at the right time. They almost need a time delay. I mean, I hate live. It's not, like, even do a 30-second delay to where you at least can get to a good scene, because it's happening. Someone's going to die. Like, switch to it.
Yeah.
I just don't think live is the best for them.
No.
They seem to really struggle with it.
And it's not even that. It's in it. I did in the past. It was very well. Their old system was terrible before they had this spectator thing kind of worked out. It was atrocious. But even if you watch like the MLG tournaments, even with those, and you're talking small 5v5, 6v6 Call of Duty games, not large. I mean, there is times where they switch to a camera and they're already mid gunfight. And it's like, oh damn it, I missed the gunfight. Now imagine having 100, 1v100, 100 versus one versus 100. Good luck.
They're gonna have a hard time switching to the right.
Damn near impossible. I mean, you're setting yourself up for a. Now, luckily, it's teamed now, so they'll really only have to have
what, 15?
Well, it's 15 teams, but realistically,
15,
7 or 8 spectators.
They should stay fairly close together.
Well, that's the thing is exactly.
Why not do a minute delay to where they can say, all right, here in the last minute, like here, we're going to switch between these different cuts.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, and it was kind of a light news week. We will get into some other news. But I'm going to be honest with you, Brian. I really, as bad as I thought the other tournament was, the one they did in the CW. I don't remember what they call Fight for the Crown. That worked because they were able to edit the living hell out of it, and you only saw the cool things happen, which at the time, and I'll say it even again now, it was odd because that's not typically what these games were like. So it was a little weird to see only the action. It felt very disingenuous because that's not what we were used to seeing.
H1Z1-ish.
Yes, exactly. But if they were just to go to, and that was very heavily edited because of commercials, because of TV, because you've got to fit an hour TV show with commercials in there. But I mean, even if they were to delay this by a couple of hours, I still think it'd be a better experience to just roll it to tape and have it live.
Yeah. Or
then have it live.
It's like they just want. I mean, like for them, they're like, oh, we're gonna have it live, and they're pushing that as a point. I just think that's.
I mean, live is cool. It's 2018. People want to interact. It's a whole thing, but
people aren't gonna be able to tell if it's almost live.
It's just too much going on.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, there's just too much stuff going on too much going on with all of that with everything to have to have an honest thing happen.
Yeah. So do you mind if do we want to do the game giveaway really quick here to?
Yeah, sure. What are we doing?
All right. So let's go ahead and do we want to do a copy? I've got like all the Max Paynes. I've got Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3. Any of those sound interesting? What do you think would be the most fun to do?
Grand Theft Auto Vice City is a great game.
All right, so we'll go ahead and give away a copy of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I'll get the giveaway here, so just wait 1 second while it opens. But this will be another 60-point raffle, exclamation point giveaway in chat, and we'll do it here probably in about 10 minutes. We'll roll for this. So this is a copy of Vice City, and thank you, Deacon. Once again, Deacon was the one who gave me some of these keys for this. If you don't have a copy of this, it's a lot of fun. The whole Grand Theft Auto. I mean, they put so much into this game into this whole series. Like, there's so much content that you can sit there and play. You can play for weeks, like a month of straight playing through this game, and you may not actually get through all the content. So, but yeah, this is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I remember playing this. I don't remember on which PlayStation, but it was a lot.
PS2, I think you would have had to have played it on.
Probably, yep.
Yeah, there you go. If you're not tuning into the program live, we're here live every Tuesday. This is kind of the stuff you miss out on. Chat's been very active and vocal tonight on the changes in H1Z1. A massive change in H1Z1. Doesn't seem like it because we've covered the games through so many revisions, but it would be the equivalent of PUBG saying, "Oh, here's a new game mode where we drive cars around," and that would be huge.
Or a mode where you're flying around and shooting at each other.
Yeah, I mean it's just it's huge. So
one thing I wanted to cover, I don't know if we can do this next, but the Rust. This is a pretty big. Remember they switched to the pretty much once a month type of update. So this is actually a really big update. So I don't know if we could watch a video on that. And they don't do them. That's why we haven't been doing them every week. So they're not doing the weekly updates anymore because they wanted to have these bigger patches that they put out once a month that are actually more polished. So this is actually a pretty big update.
Yeah, and this is Rust Dev Blog number 198, part of their out of early access monthly big updates. Our buddy Shadowfrax, you can check them out at youtube.com, search Shadowfrax, SHADOWFRAX. We'll roll the video and we'll be back.
Vroom, 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 yeah. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. Hey. Greetings, survivors and friends. Shadowfrax here, and a bit of a different intro, I know, but this week we have the first big update to the main branch since the last one, and with it, Rust Island just became a much noisier place. As well as the familiar thwack of rock on wood, the twang of string on bow, and the primal roar of a ninja bear attack, we now have a couple of noisy new toys in our arsenal. The first being the long-awaited chainsaw, and the latest item to be dragged screaming from Concept Limbo. Here's the lowdown. At the moment, you'll find it rarely in red tool chests near vehicle-based junk piles. It's researchable for 250 scrap and can then be crafted at a tier 2 workbench for 5 high-qual, 2 gears and 6 blades. It runs on low grade with a tank capacity of 50 and can be started with the right mouse button, although it may take a few yanks to get it to roar into life, as there's only a 40% starting success rate. It's loud, it's thirsty, but it's off the chain when it comes to doing what you'd expect it to be good at, and that includes murdering trees. Although it burns fuel even when idling, and you'll get through about 7 per tree you take down, it'll make short work of them, and you'll get a tasty bonus stack of wood at the end, depending on the tree. As expected, it works on moving things as well, although there are better, longer range and quieter options available, but the big question of course is, can it be used for raiding? Well, not really, at the moment. This is something that could change, but in the interests of not upsetting those peasants who can't afford a metal door yet, that step has been delayed, and it'll currently lose condition when used against them faster than you can say. Flamethrowers are much better at this. The next new item, and a surprise entry, is the Spas 12, a new semi-auto shotty that fires almost as fast as you can click, holds 6 shells at a time, and is primarily for the scientists. It's unresearchable and uncraftable, and the only way you'll get your hands on one right now is from airdrops, Bradley, and heli crates. To go with it, we also have a new type of shell, namely Incendiary, or Dragon's Breath, which can be found in airdrops and military crates, researched for 75 scrap and crafted at a tier 2 workbench for 5 frags, 10 gunpowder, and 20 sulfur for a pack of 2. Although no good for raiding, they are great at area denial and also double up as fairly expensive fireworks. Scientists are now live on all servers and spawn at the military tunnels by default. These chaps have undergone a lot of training over the last month and have become quite a lot more intelligent as a result. Their loot tables have been adjusted now, and you'll find a number of tasty goodies in their pockets. They can also spawn at some vehicle junk piles, although this is currently off by default and can be switched on by server owners by setting these convars to 1. I'll put them in the description for you. If you do find one of these 2-legged blue barrels on a walkabout in the bush, you'll find they're slightly less aggressive than the indoor variety and are mainly interested in scanning junk with their shiny new Geiger counters, although if you disturb one of these men at work, you'd better run and you'd better take cover. A couple of other tweaks worth mentioning. Firstly, the nail gun was buffed slightly with an increased fire rate. As you can see here, this should make it a bit more useful useful early on. And secondly, a clarification on grief protection. As I mentioned last week, if your tool cupboard is destroyed now, any building materials inside will be instantly used to pay for 24 hours worth of upkeep to your base so that it doesn't start decaying immediately. However, what I didn't get right, slap wrist, was that any excess and indeed any non-building materials such as gunpowder and sulfur will be dropped and can be looted. Also, you can't trigger grief protection multiple times by repeatedly destroying your cupboard, and any blocks added after the cupboard is destroyed will decay at the normal rate. Being the big monthly update to main, this one was a forced wipe, although your blueprints will still be intact. However, there have been a number of changes to the world around you. First of all, new bushes have sprouted across the island, namely the willow and spice bush. As mentioned previously, these are slightly taller than you are, and as such are perfect for lurking in. You'll also notice grass and snowy bushes are both snowy again. In the snow. Tree imposters, which, as the name suggests, are literally two-dimensional liars pretending to be trees in the distance, have been drastically improved over the last month, to the extent that if you adjust tree quality above 50 in the performance settings, now they will be rendered over the entire map. As well as making a big difference visually, performance should be hardly impacted. In addition, the distance at which trees switch to being imposters on low settings was adjusted to really benefit vegetable-based gamers. There were a number of small improvements to Happis, with a bigger update scheduled for next month, and on the procedural maps, monument placement was tweaked to transition better with the rest of the environment, with a lot less wasted space around them. As far as performance and optimization goes, skins were focused on this month, and a bug that prevented any of them from loading if one of them had a corrupt skin ID should be fixed now. But in any case, if Steam fails to initiate the download of any one, it will be skipped, and even if Steam doesn't detect a problem, it'll eventually time out after 60 seconds and move on to the next one anyway. Optimizations to building blocks and conditional models were made over the last month. In a nutshell, these can now be created much faster by the client, improving performance and, most importantly, allowing some more complex conditional model variations to be added in the future. A bug that cleared the textures of some painted signs when a server was restarted was tracked down and squashed, and a lot of work's being put into a big improvement to lighting and shading. We've already seen some big strides at making interior lighting more sensible and realistic with a new world reflection quality setting, but a new custom reflection probe system is also in the works, which basically takes a 360-degree snapshot of the surrounding area at a certain location and then uses that to compute reflections and indirect lighting. You can read a lot more about this thrilling stuff in the dev blog itself. Suffice to say that this solution should offer a drastic performance increase over Unity's inbuilt one. Over to works in progress now, and the new hair cap system is almost done, which should stop mullets from looking quite so sketchy when using any other anti-aliasing than TSSAA. This new system should also pave the way for stubble and other hairstyles, because you're worth it. New oak trees are on their way and are going to be much larger than our current ones. There'll be both leafy and dead versions, which will spawn sparsely on fields and in tundra biomes. They weren't ready for this month's patch, but expect them to start sprouting sometime between now and the next. And lastly, time ran out to get the CH47 event in and working this month, but it should be ready for next. Helk has made a completely new vehicle class for it, which is physically based, which means as well as better physics, it'll technically be possible to pilot it. On modded servers, of course, and I'm sure that will happen quite quickly. When the time comes, the attack chopper will also switch to using this system, but there's a lot to work out here, and the AI is a lot more complex as a result. One big advantage of all this, though, is that it'll be possible to mount a crew of scientists to the Chinook as if they were players, and this could lead to some interesting encounters, especially when it starts delivering its cargo, an example of which you can see here. This will come in two flavors, both a code-locked and padlocked version, and will need defending for a while before it can be opened. More details on this, no doubt, as the month rolls on, so do stay tuned, as I'll be posting weekly updates as per. Thank you very much for watching. You should know what to do by now with those like and subscribe buttons. Plus, please do join me over on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and my Steam group. I shall catch you all soon, but in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio.
All right, and there's an update from our friend Shadowfrax providing a Rust update. A whole bunch of cool stuff they're working on. That model thing is very cool. With the I'm sure you've got some better appreciation for that than I do, but the way that they're now capturing the actual
scene,
actually capturing the scene and doing that is pretty neat.
It looks like Unity does it, which is crazy that they're making something so much better than Unity is. I wonder, if that'd be the kind of thing that'd be nice to turn that around and say, here, let's give this back to Unity. We made a better one, like improve the whole engine. But
well, you've seen some of that with miscreated in their netcode, with Unreal. Yeah. I believe they're with
not with Unreal, but with CryEngine.
CryEngine. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, with CryEngine, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine that they've been working kind of hand in hand with them as they've been investing all of this time into netcode, giving them some of it and saying, or at least pointing them in the right direction of, hey, this is what you need to do.
I don't know. They've got to know how to do. I mean, it is a big ordeal.
A huge ordeal. I mean,
if you make a game engine, I guess CryEngine probably kind of says, well, our focus usually is single player games. Like people generally pick CryEngine, and then you have a company where we did the interview with them, and they're like, I got the hint that if they had it to do over again, they wouldn't have picked CryEngine. I think the problem is they picked a non-multiplayer mass player game, and decided to make a game on it because they liked how it looked, right? And it just was not capable. Unity is more capable of handling 100 players. Unreal is more capable of handling 100 players. CryEngine was not. And so if they could turn around and hand that back, that's going to do nothing but help all these other people that made the same mistake of going with CryEngine.
Bingo.
And that's pretty much what Amazon did. I mean, Amazon bought a release of CryEngine.
Yeah. And they're doing their own thing.
Pretty much fixed it. I mean, because they were like, well, we'll probably write our own network code because we want it to only work with our servers anyways. So, that's most likely what they did.
I mean, plain and simple. I mean, they're doing
and thank you, Battery Included, for cheering us with some more bits for 100 bits.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate that. All right.
Visco says Rust has 500 man player servers. So
they do.
Yeah, Unity is definitely much more capable. And that's the thing is, Rust doesn't have a lot of items. I mean, if you look at the items that are around the map, it's not generally a bunch of small items.
Lots
like they'll
rocks.
have crates. They've done a good job of like for things that you loot, there's not loot sitting all over the ground. You go and you harvest something or you loot something that gives you multiple items. So they've done a good job of keeping down the item count around the world so that then they can handle more players. They're not having to track so much information. There's a very limited number of things. Most of the rocks you can't loot. There's a certain few rocks that you can loot, and you get a decent amount of resources out of each one of those rocks. So they've done that so that people can get a lot of resources and having the minimal number of items spread around the world. I mean, trees, you can pretty much harvest almost any tree, right? So that's
I think
probably
so.
their biggest. And in this patch, they said they put a focus on improving the trees. So they made it to where it's just even that more efficient. So they're definitely, I like they're going for more improvements on the looks. There's a big player base that play this game. So I don't know that the
contrary to
player base really
belief
cares about how beautiful the game is.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to also get the people to be able to run around and start making a little more appreciation for exploring the world and things like that.
Absolutely. Anything else we want to do on Rust before we do our game giveaway here and move on to our next topic of choice?
Nope. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's roll for this next one. So do you think he wants it?
No, I would re-roll.
Okay, I'm gonna repick. All right, so Bat Chain Puller, congratulations, Bat Chain Puller. I will send you a key, and as I said before, this is in appreciation from Deacon. So Deacon has sent me a list of keys, and so that really helps out. And we'll be doing another one here right before the end of the show in about 30 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. And as Brian said, thanks to Deacon for providing those. Real quick note, we did some tabletopping over the weekend. Brian, you missed out on a very good game.
Well, so Laura, one thing I'm going to mention is Laura asked, she says, are they playing, are they playing? And you guys had played earlier that morning. I said, no, they had already played.
Well, I mean,
and then you guys played again later that night as well. So
I'll tell you, I said this to Saul. He can be my witness. I said, Brian's wife's going to turn into a degenerate playing board games with us, and he's cutting her off. He's just, no more. Nope, they're not playing. Yeah. Not tonight. Nope, they're not playing on Saturday night. Nope, they're not playing.
Yeah. So I felt kind of bad because you guys had then played later, and I just didn't see it because she was wanting to play board games.
Of course, she's turning
But
into a
you guys had
degenerate.
played pretty early. Yeah.
If Saul could remind me the name of the game, I don't remember what it was. I actually went to a cool thing locally. I went to a board game and brews thing Saturday night at a local game store, which was fun. I played a Warhammer game, and I won actually. It was quite shocking.
Nice.
It was a deck builder game which I'd never played before. Somehow I won, and then played this other game where you're a firefighter. And it's a group game, so there's 4 firefighters, and you're trying to extinguish.
I've seen that one, and I've never played it.
That one was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the house collapsed and killed us.
It's what is it? Something Point? Is it?
Flashpoint is the name of the game.
Flashpoint, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. And that one seems like it might be a little bit of a pain in the ass to do on Tabletop Simulator. There's lots of little pieces, and Tabletop Simulator is not good for games with a whole bunch of pieces, unless it's scripted,
Yeah,
of
you have to
course.
sit there and move all around.
Now, there
I
may
think
be a
it's
scripted version,
enough
which
that
is
you're
cool.
gonna have
If there's a scripted version,
I
you're
think
good to
I
go.
do have it, but I'll have to look and see if it's scripted. I mean, I have it in my list.
Scripted would be awesome, because the thing is, it's the way it works is if there's an explosion, it goes until the end of the fire and then creates one and then damages a wall. There's just lots of little pieces that have to be moved, and I just feel like over Tabletop Simulator, like the way that we were doing it is the 4 of us that were playing, we were all in charge of when there was an event, we all had a little role that we did so that we could move on to the next turn. So one guy would place the fire, I was in charge of the structural damage stuff. So it was, all kind of worked out. A little bit harder to do on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah. So we'll have to try it out, see if it is scripted enough to make it a playable experience.
Yes. So we will check that out. But if you're maybe you're hanging out on a Saturday looking for something to do, Tabletop Simulator is the way to go. We've been doing that pretty much every Saturday. We played early in the afternoon and then later in the afternoon. This Saturday, and then sometimes on Sunday too. It will spawn about a thin air, and a game will get started. So join us for that, and of course,
we'll try to join you. We'll try to join you this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We always have a lot of fun. So Discord, sometime over Saturday or Sunday. Just keep an eye out on it, and hopefully you can come join us. We have a really good time playing that.
All right, so I wanted to talk about a game that we usually don't talk about, but it is a survival game, right? But Fallout 4, because there was something that came out this past week.
It's a survival game. What are you talking about? It's absolutely a survival game.
Yeah, it's just not online. Like, people don't play it online.
No, but I mean,
but it is. Yeah, it's definitely a survival game.
More survival than H1Z1.
Yes, it is. So here's something I saw some people kind of getting upset about. They have this new thing called the Creation Club, and it's pretty much paid mods.
Yeah.
So people create content for Fallout 4 and Skyrim, so you can get items, abilities, and gameplay created by Bethesda game studios and outside development partners, including the best community creators. So the Creation Club is fully curated and compatible with the main game and official add-ons. So they're going to have enhanced, I don't know. There is a little video. It's a minute 14. I don't know if you have the option to play it, but it's on that page, just down a little bit.
Yeah, let me get this queued up.
I can get you a YouTube link if you want it. Sorry, I didn't realize that it was in there, but it explains.
Oh yeah, this is their E3 trailer.
Where they announced it.
Yeah,
and this is actually coming out now.
Let me just get this pulled up.
But I saw some people, how people are, they're just, flipping them off on Steam comments, saying paid mods. But
okay, here
we dealt with this before.
Here we go with the video.
Gameplay content. Yep. But what if there was another way to experience even more? Something all new. Introducing Creation Club, a collection of new game content for Skyrim and Fallout 4, including new weapons, new armor, new outfits and accessories, new crafting and housing features, even new gameplay enhancements. Using Creation Club is easy. Browse the selection in-game by category and use credits to download right there. Your new content will appear automatically. Creation Club content is made by Bethesda Game Studios and outside developers, including the very best community creators. These outside creators work hand in hand with Bethesda Game Studios, which means all content will be fully compatible with your save games, achievements, and official add-ons. Creation Club is coming this summer for the PlayStation 4,
Well-
Xbox One, and PC.
Well, yeah,
Creation Club.
they're enhancing it now. So.
So this is more of the, I don't know what to call it, the war on profit, the war on people getting paid for the work that they do.
So, I mean, we saw this with Ark. There was a big, there was a big controversy with how Ark was doing it. Going with these, well, first of all, paid expansions that were huge, and then also they had these official mods that they were doing that they're actually paying the developers to come up with them because they wanted them to be something better than what the community was able to come up with and be supported. We talked about, and if it was during the pre-show that we were talking about open source.
Mm-hmm.
Remember first during the beginning of the show?
Yeah, no, I think it was pre-show. We literally were having this conversation.
Talking about open source and how, if there's not that motivation of something to keep the project alive, over the long term, that, there's got to be a funnel of money coming in to keep something like this. And a mod there's nothing to guarantee that the person's going to keep it and make sure it works with the latest releases or works with whatever expansion that's come out.
And I'll tell you the key thing right here. I've played enough of these games like Skyrim and Fallout to the key thing, and they say it right there, these will not affect your save files. The problem with these mods, these third-party mods, and not all of them, if you use the top tier third-party mods, you're fine. Everybody's using them. But a lot of these mods will just flat out corrupt your saves. And especially in a game like Skyrim
or they'll be viewed
Fallout,
as a cheat, or and you'll lose.
No,
yeah,
it's not going to be
breaks
viewed
the
as a
save.
cheat. But it just
Some of them, if you spawn things in, like they don't like to, on certain things, you don't want to have it to where this is considered an official save and someone spawned and all this stuff. Like it's not a pure run. At that point.
yes.
And like here, they may consider it more of a pure run. If you have certain mods, because I know there's some things where they'll flag it as this something was spawned in or something wasn't done. Like you gave yourself stuff that you shouldn't have.
Yeah, I think
I'm not saying with Bethesda in particular, but that's one thing. Some people are very particular about that. Like they don't do certain things because they want to have a pure save file.
And I really do think the big thing here is that your save's not going to get corrupted. Because I've had friends that their Fallout saves are wiped out by a mod, and it's like gone.
These are games that there's a huge amount of stuff that you can do with progress. Like you can go through, first of all, doing the quests, but also now with all these building expansions that they have in Fallout,
build a damn house.
You can create huge things that then all of a sudden, some stupid save erases all that and it no longer works.
I mean, this is again.
Yeah, so McGrogan's saying, like usually the paid ones like this won't disable your achievements, because that's another thing is when you go to certain custom ones, then you don't get Steam achievements and things like that.
Yeah.
So they most likely will allow you to continue getting Steam achievements.
I'll say this, I've said it a million times, I'll continue to say it, and I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I just feel the need to keep reiterating this. If you would like to pay for a paid cheat, if you'd like to pay for a mod, great. If you don't want to pay for a mod, great. You have a choice. You can either pay for a mod that Bethesda and a developer worked on, which are probably a little more, it'll work with updates. You won't have to worry about things crashing maybe as often. Great. If you'd like to use a third-party open source mod, that is fantastic. I hope you have great success with both. I mean, I remember when they announced this, everybody lost their minds. This is just, and the reason that they're charging for it is because Bethesda's developers are actually working with the mod developers to make sure that this is this is up to snuff with the actual game. I mean, they don't want to be marketing garbage, garbage mods that are corrupting saves and crashing the game and making it slow and unresponsive and 40-minute load times. They don't want that. So that's kind of the goal here.
Do you think this is going to be kind of a counter to the whole, like, people are getting really upset with these crates and with kind of the gambling aspect of it? I think I'd rather do this to where you get additional content, not just a skin, or you can get a skin.
Yeah.
But, having it to where they open this up and it becomes a revenue source will create really good add-on, and they incorporate modding, but also will have the curated mods, as they like to say, to bring in a little bit of extra source of income. If you're a really big fan, you'll be willing to pay some money to get something that makes your game more enjoyable like that. And I think that they're not going to sit here and they're not trying to create a skin market. They're not treating it like gambling of, oh, you pay this much money and maybe you'll get 1% of a 1% chance of getting a certain skin. Like this, you're buying, you know exactly what you're getting when you go to purchase this.
Exactly.
So, and I appreciate that a lot more than loot crates and just like I explained here when I had my wife open some loot crates so she could experience, the frustration, and because I think she thought, oh, I'm gonna get some really cool something. I'm gonna get, something I really want.
Red trucker
and she
hat.
opened up 4 or 5 loot crates, and it was just that was it. Like I didn't get anything that's usable. Like all this stuff is junk, and it's just that's how it works. That's what they want you to do. You didn't quite get the one you wanted. Go buy some more.
It's like playing scratch off. Get three totals and win. Oh, I got two $10,000, but not the third. Maybe next time.
I mean, you'll be surprised. There's always those little contests like the stores will do and things like that, to where like the Monopoly, where I've got
McDonald's
2
does
of the
it,
3.
Yeah, they did.
McDonald's does it too.
Boatload of money with those.
They're like, I've got 2 of the 3 things that I need. If I just got one more, I get $1 million. Well, surprise, there's like one of that ticket out there in the world. There's one that someone probably already threw away. So, it's not
keep buying though.
I mean, there is
keep buying those large fries and large Cokes and getting your little Monopoly ripoff though. Keep buying it. I mean, it's genius.
They know the exact odds. Like you think that, this is random. That they're not printed in random. I promise you that.
But you make a great point, Brian, and this needs to be talked about. People don't get pissed off at McDonald's for doing that. Why do people get pissed off at game development companies? And I'm part of the problem. It's because we're entitled on the internet, because we torrent everything, we download everything for free, we watch things on YouTube for free with ad block, we browse the internet with an ad block. Everything is free, and the second something isn't free, most people have a coronary. Brian, you and I pay for a subscription service together to watch online content. My friend Sean and I split another subscription service. And I purchased, and I've got a third one that I purchased myself. I've got 3 online subscription services to various internet, online web content things like the Compound Media and a couple of other political things. It doesn't bother me. I'm paying for the content, but most people have a visceral reaction to that because I download it on the Pirate Bay. I'll get it on Kick-Ass Torrents. I'll find a rip on YouTube. I'll stream it off some weird streaming site. It's all available, and I've done it just like everybody else. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to play holier than thou.
I can't believe you.
Yeah, Mr.
running.
Mr. running torrent or file sharing servers in the 90s on his parents' internet. I don't need your pity, Brian.
I was under the age of 18 at that time.
But but realistically, that's what it is. I mean, if I wanted to watch a movie right now, Brian, if I could stop the stream right this second, load up the piratebay.org, download the movie, copy it over to my Plex server, flip on the TV behind me, grab my Roku remote, and I could be watching that movie in, depending on probably less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Completely free, completely illegal, completely for free, instantaneous. I want to watch a movie, I can watch it right now if I want to. And that's really, it screwed me. It screws everybody. Because then you see this stuff come out and it's like, what the hell? I'm not going to pay for that. I can watch a whole damn movie for free.
And I think that the game companies need to come to the understanding that people are willing to pay for their products, right? People are willing to pay.
Yeah.
I think that they went too far with the loot crates, where it turned into a pure gambling thing. But I'd rather have it to where if I'm going to pay money, I know that I'm going to get what I'm paying for. Like, I want this content. Let me pay a little extra for that content so that I can play it. Because people don't realize, and they're trying to pass a law. I think we talked about this a little bit, but
why
pass a law where they have to post the chances. And this is actually it's in China.
Oh,
China
I forgot about that.
China requires that you put the winning percentage, like, the likeliness that you'll be able to win that. And so I think that's why PUBG has been doing that with their latest number of loot crates. They put the exact percentage on there because they're required by law to do it in China. And so that, I think people were surprised to see, oh, 0.5% chance of winning that one skin, like that top skin everyone. Do you realize how small of a chance 0.5% is? It incredibly unlikely.
Well, and without getting political with it, obviously there's a lot of controversy right now over school shootings and school protection and stuff like that. I read an article a couple weeks ago. You have and I'm just saying this because when you think of the statistic, it's really unbelievable.
Of the numbers, yeah.
You have a better chance of winning the lottery twice and getting struck by lightning than shot in a school. Think about how, Brian, I can guarantee you one thing: you will never win the lottery in your life. I will bet my life on it. You will never win the lottery. You're sure as hell not going to win it twice, and you're not going to get struck by lightning.
Yeah,
those three things will not happen in your lifetime. They won't happen in your lifetime.
I do know. I know one person that won the lottery, and that's in my lifetime. I know one person that won a big lottery.
It's not gonna. It won't happen in your lifetime. It won't happen in your kid's lifetime, and it won't happen in their kids or their kids' lifetime. That is the statistical probability of something like that happening is literally nothing. I mean, it might
Joe,
as
Joe
zero.
Keep buying those tickets.
Yeah, but it's when you think about
every week I hear Joe say, "I'm going to get a lotto ticket."
Yeah, get a lotto. The only reason I brought that up is because when you think of that, it's like, oh my god, I'm never going to win the lottery. Never. I'm never going to win it
Probably
twice.
Not, no.
And then it's struck by lightning. I mean, the chance of, that's the trifecta. You're not going to hit that. It's not going to happen.
But the thing is, I think that's where people have freaked out, is these kids don't understand that yet. They see, oh, here's the list of things that I can win. Like, they haven't been disappointed enough in life yet, I think, to understand.
Yeah. There's been no reality.
Honestly,
you lose.
They haven't checked with the reality yet. And then when they're like, oh, just like Laura had never been checked in reality when it came to that. Like, she just never had experience. She hadn't dealt with that. And she doesn't gamble. She doesn't do any of that stuff. And so she thought, well, I'm paying some money. I'm going to get something in return that's equal value of what I put in. No.
How'd that work out?
It does not how
the next thing
works.
You know, Brian is calling his credit card company saying, oh no, that's a fraudulent charge. I didn't buy $700 worth of loot boxes on PlayStation.
Can you shut down this credit card,
please?
Please
put a hold on this card. Whatever you do.
So that's the thing is, these kids don't realize that. Instead, then you had all these kids going and taking their parents' credit cards because they're that close, right? They're just, if they could get a couple more, they could get that, or just doing whatever they can. Like, all their money goes to doing this because they think that they're going to get that skin, and they see other people. And then you have those streamers that were doing the fake wins, making it look like a much higher chance. It's just a bad situation. I think that this and what Ark did, and Ark wasn't even, they asked for 2 expansions, right? That you can get they weren't even asking that much. But here, there's a big crowd of people that are really into Fallout. And there's still a big crowd of people that are still into Skyrim. You'd be surprised, it's an old game, but there are people that play that religiously.
Even Fallout 3 in New Vegas. Fallout 3 came out in like 2006 or 8 or something like that.
So I think if they can get this from those fans and get some extra money and provide them equal, I think that this is considered equal for what they're putting in. They're getting a return on that for their value. I think that this is the direction that these studios should go and get away from the lottery thing. Go to I'm willing to give you a little extra if you're willing to give us a little extra. It's a give and get. It's a give take relationship. And I think that game studios got away from that too much because they saw the big money. Daybreak did it like crazy, and I think it ruined their company for now.
Yeah.
It killed the whole way that the company operated.
There just needs to be doesn't need to be. I think people just need to chill out a little bit and just, it's okay to pay for things. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for a company to make money. It's okay to profit. It's okay and in most cases, Bethesda's not going to be the one that's making all the money on this. They're going to be passing this with obviously some rev split over to the developer. So you're supporting.
We haven't seen Bethesda do this. Like, we haven't seen Bethesda go crazy with the loot crates. Like,
no, absolutely not. You buy Fallout, you buy Fallout.
They've delivered an excellent game with tons of content. Every time, whenever they offer you something, it's a game that has a ton of content and a ton of value to it. And they offer add-ons and mods and everything to keep the product alive afterwards without really asking you for anything. So I think that this for them makes sense, and it's something that, like, all right, I'll take your word for it. EA, I think, is going to have a while to, if they do like this, people are going to say, well, okay, what's the catch? Like, okay, sure, you're saying pay for something and I'm going to get something, but like, okay, then what? Then do I have to do something else? Like, so I think that some companies are going to have to kind of earn that trust back. But companies like this, Arc, I think that, and I said it before at the time, I think that the flack that they got for that was unjust. I think that it was a bunch of entitled gamers that came down on that company when there was they didn't have to give you those 2 expansions.
No,
they didn't have to give anything to you. But yet they got so much hate from the community when they already gave you a full game. And those 2 expansions were just, as far as content and level design and all those things, that was a pure game's worth. Like, they could have released it as something else, polished it as a little bit different of a game, and released it separately and gotten away with it. So I just think people need to quit punishing the companies unjustly that are doing maybe not the right thing, but they're not doing the wrong thing. They're not doing a bad thing.
well, and I think over time this will sort itself out. Now that there's a lot more pay to watch content online, obviously there's always ways to get stuff free or illegal, but there's a lot more subscription services, Netflix, Hulu, CBS All Access.
Netflix, you pay money for that, and people, there's a lot of people that don't pirate movies because they have Netflix. People are willing to pay if you make it easy and you give them something that is,
I would say,
seems like is of value.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I if I can find a movie on Netflix, I'll absolutely do that before I pirate it. Because it's just a pain. I gotta download it. I gotta find a good. I mean, this should be realistic, but you gotta find a good. Oh yeah, you torrented it or rented it from Blockbuster.
It was such a pain. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go drive down to Blockbuster, and then I'm gonna pay $7 or something like that to rent a movie, and then I have to drive back there. And then they started having where they delivered it to your door, and it created this whole new, okay, what, you're going to make it easy on me and you're going to provide it for me. Okay, I'll pay you for that. And I'll pay you on a monthly basis. Like that's the way to do it. But if Netflix said, all right, well, you got to keep paying us, but we're only going to give you like 1 movie a month. Well, okay, I'm not going to do that. Like that's kind of what gaming almost turned into. So reward the ones that are doing it right. If you like Netflix and you like what they give you, pay them. Don't pirate it if you don't have to. I mean, you got Amazon, which has streaming movies. With games, it's the exact same way. If you can support the company and they are doing it in a way that is giving you a product that you enjoy, pay them some money.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right. So do we want to jump onto any of these other things?
Yeah, if you want to cover Elite Dangerous, that's pretty much it.
Mainly some update notes. Yeah, we got update 302 for Elite Dangerous. They have it to where they fix some issues where data links did not have any audio. These are the new kind of like galactic audio that gives you some of the lore and the story that's behind it. Some of them weren't actually queuing the audio correctly, so they got that fixed. And mainly they, like with the fix for crime, notoriety exemption for murder by ramming now applies everywhere, not just near stations. So they're trying this. Last patch, they put in a whole bunch of new content, so they're trying to kind of fix and make it so that it all works. So on here, you'll just see fixes for ships, for the NPCs, for the planets, for multi-crew, all these things that they put in. They got just a little bit of fix for every single one of those. So if you play Elite Dangerous, you should see with this latest patch that they did some crash fixes. Hopefully you'll have, if you were having some crashing issues after the last patch, that should be fixed. With the commodity markets, they now have, so like the commodities market one changes, you should now be stations that have black markets. So if you have a black market there, you also have the commodity trader. You can now rescue political prisoners at the search and rescue contact instead of selling them on the open market. So they're just giving you, this game has so much, and we played it for a while. We'll have to maybe here in a patch or two play it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's a game that I like playing in a couple of weeks. Like for a couple of weeks, we'll play and go crazy. Maybe we set some goals of getting some of the new big ships and things like that. But now that they have the multiplayer, I think they're giving us a little more to do together, because that's the things we're all playing individually. We weren't playing together. So I think this will be a good one here, maybe in a month or two, maybe after the next big patch that they do during the summer. get a group together and try to do some of the wing missions and just learn some of the stuff that we do together. So
Got conned into buying it by you guys. Got conned. Never played it. Finally learned how to play it, and then I was like, oh, wow, that was fun.
We'll play it again.
Yeah, eventually.
Another one is Black Death put out a patch. So this was one where they put in, they have some new things in here, like the attribute system, allowing players to level up stats such as health, strength, and stamina, ability, hunger, all just a bunch of stats in there. Now the bonuses are lost on death. So it's something that it's pretty much a hardcore game. And that if you die, you lose all the updates that you have. So also the character create now enables you to pick a profession and get a bonus attribute that match the profession, including additional alert recipes, inventory rework to make it easier to find what you were looking for. So you have a filter on the screen now instead of having to do tabs. And this also includes the attribute system. You can do a search. They when leveling up a profession, a UI pops up displaying the recipes that you've learned. So if you level up, you actually get to see here's what the new things are craftable by you. And then the placing system for campfires and traps that can be used by the hotbar now provides a world placing actor, allowing you to have fine control over where you place things. So other than that, it's been updates and fixes. But this is a game that is a lot of fun. We'll have to. There's not really anyone else who has it. It's kind of like some of these other games where it's a lot of grind to it. So it's one that you have to be like, I'm going to play this for a couple weeks and try to get as far as I can. If you're someone who loves grind, maybe you would enjoy this long term. But it's one of those games that you just kind of push out for a while, just like Elite Dangerous. It's a grind game. You put in as much time, and then you got to take a break after a while because you just burnt yourself out on it. So that is the Black Death version 25. So mainly they added attributes to the game, so that should help you.
Well, there you go.
PUBG was just a Xbox update. We could probably skip that and wait for them to release an actual update.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, are we ready to do another? You want me to announce another one?
That would be great. And I've just got my player data ready to go, and we'll announce that and go from there.
All right, so we'll go ahead and do exclamation point giveaway, another 60-point raffle. And what I'll do is I'll actually give away 2 games. So we'll give away Max Payne 2 and 3. Max Payne
nice.
2 was a really good game. Max Payne 1, actually, yeah, Max Payne 1 as well was a really good game. Should I give away all 3 in one? Do you think if they don't have one?
Whatever. You can ask whoever wins if they already have one or not, I guess.
Okay, well, I'll offer all 3 Max Paynes because most people will be like, "Oh, the original one." The original one had a really good story.
I remember. I saw the. Yeah, I think that was good.
It is an excellent story to the original Max Payne. So if you can, I would encourage you to play the first one through before you do 2 and 3 because it's a continuing story of a character, and so you're kind of losing out on some of the history. And they really do a good job of setting up understanding and getting a feeling for the character in the first one. So if you can do that, I would encourage you, I'll offer you all 3. If you already have one of them, you can turn down one of the keys, but yeah, we'll do Max Payne and we'll do all 3 of them because they're really good. So exclamation point giveaway in chat. And
yes,
we will do that.
And if you're not tuning in live, this is what you're missing out on, stuff like this. All right, quick current player update here, and I'm just going to refresh this number because it does seem a little low, but I will refresh it to verify, and it is exactly the same. All right, so you would think new game mode, King of the Kill. How many people are playing? Well, not a whole hell of a lot. Currently playing 4,560 for this is again just for H1Z1 with the new car mode in here that we talked an hour about. The 24-hour peak 9,826. The 7-day peak 15,072. Not hot. Not very hot at all. Moving over to Ark Survival Evolved. 32,164 currently playing that. The 24-hour peak 47,262 and a 7-day of 64,676. Moving over to Rust, we were talking about it. People say that people don't play Rust. That's a lie. 24,152 people currently playing. 24-hour peak just shy of 40,000. 39,401. And the 7-day, 57,973. Moving on to the game, everybody really cares about PUBG. Currently playing this not 500,000. It used to be 500,000 all the time. Now it's 412,308. Still an amazing amount of players. The 24-hour peak, 2,597,254, and the 7-day, 2,802,807. So, and then real quickly here, I do want to show this. Going back to, we'll take a quick look at the H1Z1 graph, because I do find this interesting. Brian, so that thing was released last Wednesday, which would have been the 28th. So if we pull the 1 month chart in here, it's unfortunate.
So there was the release.
Yeah,
it went up to 75,000.
No, it went up to 14,000. This is the Twitch.
Oh, that's the Twitch viewers. So that was.
So I mean, you can see. Yes. I wish I could get rid of the Twitch viewers on here because it makes the.
Because it really.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I can. Look at that. There's your jump. I mean, 3 months. There's your jump,
5,000,
ladies and gentlemen. I mean.
Yeah, definitely not, and it's already down. Like it's almost back down to the point of where before the release.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, this is almost to the end. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do, how they're gonna keep it going. I mean, they don't want to have it end, but I don't see that trend. I don't see that turning around. I don't see it going back up.
Yeah, it's a real shame. That's all I can say. It's a real shame because I mean, honest to God, and I mean this. I really mean this. I really do. The game mode is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I wish more people would play it. And maybe they will. But I really do think it's a pretty kick-ass game mode.
Yeah. Like with their graphics and everything, they could almost make mobile games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm telling you, Brian, wait until you play it. Wait until you play it. You'll be like, damn, I feel like I'm playing you know what I felt like? There was a game I have on the Sega Dreamcast. Don't remember what it's called. I had it on the Sega Dreamcast. Don't have it anymore. And it's a car game like that, and you just get these stupid power-ups and you shoot at the other cars. No, it's not Crazy Taxi.
Oh no, like Death Race or something like that.
It wasn't Death Race, and there's like this big crater and the aliens come in. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a Dreamcast game, and you just
wasn't Carmageddon or anything like that.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'd have to see screenshots to play, but that's what it reminded me of, like an old like 90s, and that's not bad. It's a fun play style. I really do think people Friday night are going to enjoy it.
Yeah, we'll play it. See if we can get people at least excited about H1Z1 a little bit. Well, it's not even really H1Z1, but excited about shooting a little at cars in H1Z1.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to cover before? Just remember, as we said, Friday night we're doing our game night, so make sure at 8:00 Eastern that you're there.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thanks, Firebomb, for the cheers attacking Mario Kart. But there you go.
Yeah. All right. So, are we ready for me to roll into my tip of the week?
What is tip of the week, Brian?
Tip of the week is where I go through and either I will give a general gaming tip or I'll discuss a specific game. This week is specific. It's 7 Days to Die. So this is tip of the week. All right, with 7 Days to Die, this is a game that's all about resource gathering, and I'm hoping that they'll come out with their new patch here pretty soon so we can play as a group.
Sometime.
Get a nice little server up and running.
Sometime in the next year would be fantastic.
I mean, in 3 more months, they'll be at like the year from their last patch. And so on this game, if you've ever played it, you know that building your base and defending it against the waves of zombies is pretty much the point. And that's the game. It requires you to go out and gather resources so that you are able to upgrade your base, repair your base, because they will constantly each night be damaging your things. So I'm just going to give you a couple of things that you can do to help gather some extra resources, help survive through to get past that initial stage with this game. And these are some things that Heisenberg, for instance, really helped with, because he knows this game back and forth, and he was able to help us learn some of these things. But one thing is, when you're trying to go out and gather scrap iron, because you'll need a lot of scrap iron, if you go into the stores, because they have these buildings now that are spread all over, you'll see the store shelves there. If you harvest the store shelves, they'll actually give you 4 scrap iron for each of those. And there's something that actually are pretty quick to harvest. Sometimes you'll go out and you'll go through your pickaxes, you'll waste a lot of resources trying to gather resources. But if you go and you gather those shelves, each of those give you 4 scrap iron, and it only takes a couple hits to be able to get them. Also, early on, if you can find a cooking pot, these are one of the things that usually it's like, has anyone found a cooking pot yet? This, when placed over a campfire, it has the ability to be able to convert your murky bottled water, which is not as good for you, into clean drinkable water. Also with that, you'll go out and gather more resources, and you'll start making the goldenrod tea, because you're just looking for things, because you'll get sick and you'll need something healed. You're able to make goldenrod tea, and also meat stew, because food can get to be a pain, especially water early on. If you're not near a water source, you're sitting there just trying to gather, or you're having to trek a really long ways, filling up a ton of bottles, bringing them back. You'll need that cooking pot to be able to purify all that water. So those are just some tips for early on in 7 Days to Die. And hopefully, as I said, in the next couple of weeks, they'll do a release. I mean, they got to be close, but they've done a lot of updates that we kind of covered a little bit, teasing for the new update they're going to do. But as soon as they get that out, we'll run a server and we'll get a group together and play for a week.
Yes.
On that. Yes.
Last time,
says yuccas for the win.
Last time we played, hatsforsingles.com was the where it was where it was born. I almost let that expire, by the way. That was actually about a year ago, because I did get an email that it was up for renewal. So
that is tip of the week, and that's something where I mean, you got to think they've only done one patch since then, right?
Absolutely.
Since we played then. So
hatsforsingles.com. Check it out.
All right. Is there anything else?
Oh,
we need to
no.
cover before
My domain is gone.
Oh, you lost it?
No, it just says my verification is pending because I don't have a Whois. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this sucks. Don't go to hatsforsingles.com. It will not bring you to where you need to go.
Somebody complained?
No, my Namecheap put a block on it because I don't have verify my contact information.
So they want you to pay them money to have a anonymous register?
No, I mean, I don't need to anonymously register it. I mean,
well, if you need me to do it, you can put my business address on there.
That's fine. I'll just make up an address. I wanted to roll for our giveaway here.
All right, so let's go ahead and we'll roll for this last one. And once again, thank you, Deacon, for donating these. And if you would like, you can contact us through contact@infectionpodcast.com. Or you can just message me directly if you want to give us some keys, but you're more likely to either email them to me or send them somehow through Steam, Discord, whatever you'd like, and we'll enter them into these raffles for people. All right, so congratulations, McGrogan. You have won, and I will ask you afterwards if you have any of these, if you'd like all 3 of them. You're more than welcome to have all 3 of them. As I said, I would encourage you to play all 3 in order because it is an excellent story. And I think you'll find yourself hooked after the first one.
Yes, and I do want to give a huge shout out to our boy Deacon for I think the last 2 or 3 weeks now providing us games to give away. So
yeah,
Deacon,
he gave me a decent list of games to give away.
Yes,
so.
Deacon, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. Keeps gives the live viewers an incentive to tune in live. Outside of the chat and the giveaways, there really wouldn't be a whole reason to tune in live. But I mean, we are constantly corrected by the chat on names and dates and stuff like that. It really does help us out. So we appreciate Deacon for providing those games for us, and everybody that is chipping into the program with the bits and feedback and chat, and no, this is the actual date, or no, it came out this, that. We really do appreciate all that information. So Thank you very much.
And thank you for putting up with my my about gone voice.
It really, I mean, are you a hypochondriac?
No.
Because you're like, when you said my voice is gone, I was expecting you to come on and be like, sound like Rush Limbaugh or something like that. Like, no, the H1Z1 is. That's what I was expecting.
No, it's not that point. I just have to talk in a certain register of my voice.
Yeah.
Or else it cracks and stuff. So it's getting worse each day. So we'll see how I am by game of the week.
You need
Friday night. I may not have a voice. Laura picked me up some Dayquil, so I'll try taking that.
Slam a bottle of Dayquil tonight. Or no, slam a bottle of NyQuil to go to sleep.
Along with my painkillers. Yeah, that'll be great.
No. That's a recipe to die, actually. I believe what I've heard.
Yeah, so I'll just take the Dayquil during the day.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. We're going to get out of here before. So yeah, let's end this program. Brian, hello. Where can people find you?
Yeah, if you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, or of course you can go check out my blog, biteoftech.com. And as I always say, make sure you go join our Discord. It's on the right-hand side of our website. Just click join server. It's a little green button. And when you get in there, just introduce yourself to people. Most of the people are friendly, and most people enjoy their time there. Also, if you want to join our Steam group, you get notifications. This Steam happened to be down for half the show, so you get a notification halfway through the show. But usually you'll get a notification before the show starts in case you happen to be at your computer. No pressure. If you're there, you can jump in, join the live stream, maybe enter some raffles. So. And that's it. Hopefully we'll see you all on Friday night. We'll get some good games in. Get some appreciation for H1Z1 again.
Absolutely. We were the H1Z1 podcast. By the way, I just would like to point this out. I like to point out every once in a while. We have done 164 weeks of this program. A couple Mondays, maybe a couple Wednesdays, 1 or 2 pre-recorded shows for holidays or events or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I've moved across the damn country. And we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Vacations. It's been quite incredible. I planned my trip home for Easter. I made sure I booked my flight to leave at 6 o'clock Tuesday morning from Albany, back down here so I could do the show Tuesday night.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, I literally...
we have a disorder.
Literally based my plan. My father was like, why are you flying out so early? I said, if I get delayed, I got to get back down for the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I'm being as serious as a heart attack. I could have left it 6 o'clock in the morning or noon. Noon would have been cutting it close. With a couple layers, I wouldn't have gotten in until like 4 or 5 o'clock. That's not good. It's cutting it too close. So 6 a.m. it is Tuesday morning after Easter. And I'll be back by 11 or 12. So very, very serious business. Brian, thank you very much.
Actually, we'll roll something else to the after show.
Oh,
so if you
tune in live.
Yeah. If you listen live, we have an after show where we just talk a little bit. So for those that are listening on podcast, you're missing out a little bit by not being here live. So I encourage you to try it once in a while.
Well, Mr. Brian, thank you very much. I'm glad to see you're doing better, and with your arm, that is, not your cold. And we will talk to you Friday, hopefully Saturday, and then next Tuesday we'll be back at it again. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I attempt to find my outro music, as I stall for that, thanks for tuning in to episode 164 of Infection. Again, if you want to tune in live, we are live here every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. Thanks to Firebomb, Locklore, and Battery Included for the bits. Some subscribers, which we mentioned earlier in the program, and then we'll do this same time, same place next week. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. You can visit our website, infectionpodcast.com. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next week at 7.